It's a reason why they say that I'm the great one. It's a reason why they say, even though they love to hate. They love to hate, boy. It's a reason why they say I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be doing this right here. There's a reason. And tonight, I will not disappoint you tonight. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Because what I have tonight, I cannot believe. I know one person knows on this earth, and he didn't say anything. He didn't say a word. But I found out. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Basketball Association has already been under heavy criticism and heavy scrutiny for different investigations that they've had going on, as far as the feds with the gambling situation and all of those other things. You had coach, players, everybody involved. But they also had another situation that they, seemingly was trying to downplay. And that is the investigation into Steve Ballmer, or the alleged investigation, I should say. Because I don't really feel like it was that much of an investigation until a guy by the name of Pablo Torre came along. And Pablo Torre put immense pressure on the commissioner of the National Basketball Association to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. And tonight, I will bring forth to you, as you all have heard, everybody's heard, the shot heard around the world, that the trade was. And if you know, I have stopped currently watching the National Basketball Association based off of a lot of just different things that I don't like that I've seen from Adam Silver. Adam, I don't like you. I don't respect what you've done with the league. I think you've done a horrible job. And if you ever hear this video, I think you need to step down, man. I think that you're a poor example. And I think that David Stern would be very disappointed with you, with what you've done. But tonight, I'm going to show y'all. And I have paperwork. And to the person who says they won't do shit to Ballmer, you're wrong. I got paperwork. And I'm going to show you why tonight. Doesn't matter how much money he make them. I got paperwork. See, when you go against me, I'm going to say it once, and I'm going to say it again. I'm the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I got paperwork, boy. See, what you don't do in the comment section is coming here running your lips when you're in the presence of greatness. Because I have paperwork. And I want to show you a name on this paperwork. I want to show you a name on this paperwork. I want you to see a name. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Right? Something happened. Something happened. And I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. Right? Tonight, I'm going to break some things down for you guys. Let's start. First, let's take this down. Let's start something else first. Because I want to say to people, to everybody that's listening to this video, all of you that are listening to this video, it's about to get ugly in here, man. It's about to get ugly. Ladies and gentlemen, there was an investigation into the Los Angeles Clippers. All right? Let me repeat myself again. There's an investigation into the Los Angeles Clippers by the National Basketball Association, an alleged investigation. Now, this all popped off because of a man by the name of Pablo Torre, right? Pablo came out with an explosive, and do I mean explosive, story that would threaten to bring the National Basketball Association to its knees if they did not conduct a fair, unbiased investigation. Now, you're probably wondering, Ticket, what the hell are you talking about, right? I'm going to show you what I'm talking about tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to show y'all something. Coming into this case, and I want to put this in the order for you guys that it deserves to be put in, right? Steve Ballmer, this guy on your screen, let me show y'all him. He is not only on the left-hand side, right there beside Adam Silver, this guy. He is not only an owner in the National Basketball Association for the Los Angeles Clippers, he serves as the chairman of the NBA Audit Committee for the National Basketball Association, right? He was appointed via the NBA Board of Governors, right? He leads this crucial committee. The Audit Committee oversees the league's financial practices, reporting, and the broad revenue allocations. So he has a very important part and role in the National Basketball Association. It's a very important role in the National Basketball Association, outside of him just being an owner. Right? Now, there's a man, as I told y'all, right here, by the name of Pablo Torre. Pablo was the only one in the media, because he's not signed to one of these corporation media groups like ESPN or FS1. He doesn't have to stick his nose up the you-know-whats of the corporate bosses. So Pablo decided that he was going to do a little bit of journalistic integrity. And Pablo has investigated multiple things throughout his time covering the league. And this thing right here, Pablo came out and on his podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out, he outlined what he alleged was an intricate $28 million salary cap circumvention scheme. And those allegations claimed from Pablo Torre that the Los Angeles Clippers used a green fintech company named Aspiration as a proxy to funnel millions of dollars in untracked, off-the-books money to superstar Kawhi Leonard to include him to re-sign with the team. Now, the primary details I'm going to give to you right now. Pablo Torre obtained internal company documents showing that in April of 2022, Kawhi Leonard signed a massive $28 million sponsorship contract with Aspiration. Pablo Torre reported that this was an illegal third-party no-show contract meant to bypass the salary cap. Pablo Torre claims that Kawhi Leonard was paid roughly $21 million of that total contract. Pablo Torre claims that despite receiving tens of millions of dollars, Kawhi Leonard never participated in any advertisements, never promoted the brand publicly, and never acknowledged Aspiration on his social media accounts. Basically a no-show job, which is illegal in the National Basketball Association. Pablo Torre stated that Aspiration was just not a random corporate sponsor. He claimed and alleged that it was deeply, right? Deeply, and I'm going to say it again, tied with owners Steve Ballmer of the Los Angeles Clippers. In September of 2021, Steve Ballmer invested $50 million of his own personal wealth into Aspiration. 1 month later, the Clippers signed a staggering $300 million sponsorship agreement with Aspiration, nearly handing them the naming rights to the Intuit Dome. When Aspiration hit severe financial issues, Steve Ballmer reportedly injected another $10 million to prop up the company right before Kawhi Leonard's payments were due, according to Pablo Torre. Pablo Torre revealed that a highly suspicious timeline of fund routing in June of 2022, Aspiration was 3 months behind on its scheduled payments to Kawhi Leonard and on the brink of missing its fund deadline. Pablo Torre uncovered a letter signed by the Los Angeles Clippers chief financial officer authorizing a $21 million withdrawal from an escrow account to fund Aspiration carbon projects. Simultaneously, the Clippers owner, Dennis Wong, co-owner, right, transferred $1.99 million into Aspiration, and exactly 9 days later, Aspiration wired a critical $1.75 million installment directly into Kawhi Leonard's LLC, KL2 Aspire LLC. Pablo Torre alleged that the Clippers were actively funding the very company that was paying their star outside of the NBA salary cap. Right? Pablo Torre reported and uncovered a confidential informant who filed a complaint that was submitted under the penalty of perjury to the SEC in 2023 by 2 former Aspiration employees. This complaint explicitly mapped out how a $32 million account was intentionally masked as a marketing sponsorship to disguise incentivized bonuses for Kawhi Leonard. This document provided the roadmap for the federal authorities, including the Department of Justice prosecutor Lou Manzo, used to target Aspiration. Pablo Torre also alleged that the Clippers' efforts to provide side benefits stretch back to Kawhi Leonard's free agency recruitments starting in 2017. Internal communications indicate that the team allegedly discussed side agreements with Kawhi Leonard's uncle, Uncle Dennis Robertson, which included corporate percentages of earnings and hiring Kawhi Leonard's personal trainer onto the team payroll. Stay with me, y'all, because this thing gets disgusting crazy. The Clippers have came out and denied all of these allegations. The Clippers owner Steve Ballmer, he said they conned me. They conned him is what Clippers owner Steve Ballmer said. Steve Ballmer said that they conned him is what Steve Ballmer said. That's what he said. This guy right here. Oh, yeah, he said that, you guys. He said that they conned him. Ladies and gentlemen, not only did he say that they conned him, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Ballmer, Adam Silver came out originally and stated that he had no idea Adam Silver, this guy, he had no idea about this so-called aspiration deal. No idea. None whatsoever. He didn't have it. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. Then, when Pablo Torre unveiled that it was impossible that Adam Silver did not know about that deal because the aspiration deal with the Clippers, the $300 million sponsorship, had to be approved by the NBA first and signed by and approved by the NBA first. Adam Silver then came back and says, oh, no. I misspoke. I didn't mean to say I didn't know. I certainly knew about that deal. So, then Adam Silver announced, well, we have to do an investigation. And the investigation went on for a few months. And everybody was saying, Ticket, man, what the hell is going on, man? I told him, I said, bro, I don't trust Adam Silver. I don't trust the NBA. This disgusting what's going on. Everything I'm seeing is disgusting. Right? And they said, oh, Ticket, man, nothing's going to happen, man. You just delusional, bro. And, I stood on that island alone. And I will stand on it alone because I'm always going to stand on what's right. Never what's wrong. Never what's wrong. Right? Right? Tonight I come to tell you guys, this happened. I want to show you something. Put this on the screen for you. Put this on the screen for him right now. Let me get this on the screen. Please. Appreciate it. This happened. Take it down for you a little bit. Oh, I'm going to make it burn slow on their ass tonight. Smash the like button. The Kawhi Leonard trade to the Raptors. On hold. Right? That one right there. Right? That's what I need. Y'all to see. And everybody said, well, why did they suddenly? Because they had to know something had to happen. Something had to happen. When I tell y'all that I'm pure effing greatness, oh man, I'm great, boy. See, what people didn't know on the outside, but people on the inside knew, like Pablo Torre. He knew something else was happening. There was a man. There was a man. And I'm going to show you this man. I'm going to show you this man. I'm going to show you this man. Right? This man right here. Let me move this off your screen. Hold on. I want to show y'all this guy. You got to see this guy right here. You got to see him. Right here. That guy. His name is Joe Samberg. His name is Joe Samberg. Now, right? Joe Samberg got sentenced to 14 years in federal prison. Because Joe Samberg The guy I'm showing you on the screen, this man on your screen, was sentenced to 14 years in federal prison because of a corporate fraud scheme that deceived investors and lenders out of at least $248 million. In October of 2025, Joe Samberg pled guilty to 2 counts of federal wire fraud related to his management of Aspiration Partners, Inc. U.S. District Judge Stephen V. Wilson handed down a 168-month sentence on June the 1st, 2026. And let me tell you what happened afterwards. Oh, Joe Samberg was hot. He was ticked off because he thought because he took a plea, he would get lesser time. But the judge, after hearing all of the victim impact statements, including one from his old buddy, Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer wrote an impact letter to the judge against Joe Samberg, the guy he had put that money into Aspiration with, and said that Joe Samberg conned him out of his money and to punish him harshly. Well, the NBA investigators, something happened. During this case, Pablo Torre didn't think shit was going right because Pablo Torre, he has the NBA literally by the ball. Now, Pablo Torre had an inside line to the Aspiration employees. And the Aspiration employees who blew the whistle and went to the feds and snitched on this whole situation, and included the Los Angeles Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, and each and every last one of those in their snitching paperwork to the feds. They were working with Pablo Torre and feeding him information that would otherwise be inaccessible to the general public. So Pablo Torre, who is a Harvard graduate, extremely smart, smarter than them, Pablo Torre started to grip up, and he did episodes and broke them down one by one. But what Pablo did that had to have frustrated the NBA was drop these episodes bit by bit by bit, each time dangling in a little piece more of evidence that he knew he had, which made, in my opinion, the NBA have to continue to drag this fake ass investigation on. And then something happened. Pablo Torre went live, or he did one of his episodes, I should say. In one of his episodes, Pablo Torre stated that the Aspiration employees, a number of them that had been interviewed by the NBA's legal team that they had contracted from the outside to allegedly investigate Steve Ballmer, who reportedly is paying for this investigation, which is crazy in itself, that Steve Ballmer allegedly is paying for the investigators to investigate him. One of the richest men in the world, Steve Ballmer. You knew Pablo Torre had to have super kahunas to go up against a billionaire, one of the richest men in the world. Pablo Torre had to have guaranteed evidence. And this is the part everybody underestimated Pablo Torre at. Because one thing is certain and one thing is sure. Steve Ballmer has never sued Pablo Torre for defamation. He could easily shut Pablo Torre down. But why wouldn't he sue Pablo Torre for defamation? Because Pablo Torre instantly could have the courts subpoena all the records that the NBA just can't get their hands on. And it would be an absolute shit show. But wait, there's more. So Pablo, in the middle of this alleged investigation, busted out the NBA investigators for watch-telling Lipton. And Pablo alleged that a number of the Aspiration employees who was feeding him all of these documents and information that he should have never had, that would have never been seen to the world. Pablo Torre said that they told him when they met with the NBA league investigators that the league investigators only asked them about the black man, Kawhi Leonard, and that they didn't ask any questions about Steve Ballmer, which Pablo Torre said showed that they must have really not been trying to resolve this case at all. After Pablo Torre went public with that bombshell, the investigation continued. And everybody wondered, why in the hell is this investigation taking this damn long? What the hell is going on? Well, Pablo Torre, in my opinion, humble opinion, made them change course and have to do a serious investigation. Because the way Pablo Torre was doing his episodes, exposing all of this new information, it was damaging the credibility of the National Basketball Association. Right? Now, I want to say this to you guys. Right? Pablo Torre, in his latest episode, the last episode he dropped, he went to the same place that the NBA commissioner Adam Silver was speaking at. And Adam Silver somehow left right out of there before Pablo Torre could arrive. And when Pablo Torre arrived, he revealed that he had an envelope with some evidence in it that he wanted to pass to the commissioner of the National Basketball Association. What are you saying, Ticket? Well, with Steve Ballmer giving an impact statement and alleging that his old buddy Joe Samberg conned him. Well, what Joe Samberg did was Joe Samberg not only met with the feds, Joe Samberg met with the NBA league investigators. And you know what Joe Samberg told the league investigators? It's alleged that Joe Samberg told a whole lot to the NBA league investigators. Now, there was something else that happened that made this entire case investigation, I should say, continue, because everybody's been wondering, why is this investigation still going on? Something happened. And I'm going to tell you what happened. What happened is that 11 Aspiration employees sued Joe Samberg. And they also sued another man. And the other man that they sued, drum roll please. Drum roll please. The other man that they sued, Joseph Samberg, Steve Ballmer. Booyah. And in this lawsuit, as you guys can see, in the Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, they sued Steve Ballmer as well. Now, you can go and read through all of this if you want, but I'll give you the rundown on what they accuse Steve Ballmer in this lawsuit. Matter of fact, I have it right here, as you guys can see. And let's start right here, because it gets diabolical, the information I'm going to give you today. They accuse Steve Ballmer. This is the employees, 11 of Aspiration, accuse Steve Ballmer of these things on your screen. By 2021, and this is 11 Aspiration employees of Joe Samberg's company that were doing all of the paperwork behind the scenes. Oh yeah. So guess what? They saw everything, is what they said. By 2021, and they changed the name to Katona now. So that's why the name is Katona, not Aspiration, to everybody reading this document. But it says by 2021, Katona was running out of money and needed a deep pocket benefiter. Along came Steve Ballmer. Samberg made a crooked deal with Ballmer, the billionaire owner of the NBA's Los Angeles Clippers, to provide financial support and promote Aspiration, now it's called Katona, but Aspiration, to investors such as plaintiffs. The arrangement was that Steve Ballmer would be an investor in Aspiration or Katona, and in return, Ballmer would use Aspiration to secretly funnel millions of dollars to NBA player Kawhi Leonard. These funds would be channeled through Katona to Kawhi Leonard so that Steve Ballmer could introduce Kawhi Leonard or induce Kawhi Leonard to re-sign with the Clippers by covertly paying him more than allowed by the NBA salary cap rules. Now remember, Kawhi Leonard is not a Toronto Raptor. All of a sudden, the trade got paused and stopped. And everybody said, why did they stop that trade? Why? Oh, but you better smell what the Rock is cooking tonight, because I got something to show y'all. These funds would be channeled through Aspiration or Katona to Kawhi Leonard so that Steve Ballmer could induce Kawhi to re-sign with the Clippers by covertly paying him more than allowed by the NBA salary cap rules. Samberg and Ballmer worked together to make Aspiration, so they're saying he was a co-conspirator in this lawsuit. Now listen, y'all, to make Aspiration appear to be a successful company backed by Ballmer, who is one of the wealthiest people in the world. To Simony Hines, you must not have read the news. You need to go read your ass the news. One of the wealthiest people in the world, worth over $150 billion. With Steve Ballmer's knowledge, support, and assistance, Joseph Samberg and Steve Ballmer promoted Aspiration to lend legitimacy to Aspiration's operations, and Steve Ballmer publicly endorsed Aspiration or Katona. This enticed investors, like plaintiffs who were suing, to entrust and keep their capital in Aspiration and helped hide the rampant fraud occurring at the company. It also served Ballmer's interest in getting extra money to Leonard so he could circumvent the salary cap, beat out the competition, and re-sign his team's superstar player. Ballmer was complicit in and aided and abetted in Samberg's fraud for his own self-serving purpose. Ballmer publicly endorsed Aspiration and infused over $50 million in the company. Absent of Ballmer's support, Aspiration or Katona could not have sustained the funds set forth herein. But remember, Steve Ballmer said they conned me. But the people who were working in the company says no. He was working with the con man to help the con man. It gets worse. Samberg's scheme also included borrowing millions of dollars using phony financial statements and artificially inflating the value of Aspiration. Samberg generated phony revenue for Aspiration, y'all. Right? Funneling his funds through others who would purport to be genuine customers of Aspiration and purchase sustainability products. Typically carbon credits, these were sham customers. Samberg himself was the true source of these purchases. Joe Samberg has met with the NBA's investigators. And Joe Samberg, he gave them a lot of information because Joe Samberg had to have been ticked off after what happened. He had to have been pissed after what happened when Steve Ballmer helped bury him and give him a 14-year sentence with his victim impact statement saying that Joe Samberg conned him, when the Aspiration employees alleged that no, he didn't con you, you helped him. And remember, his name was also included in that federal complaint that helped prosecute and convict Joe Samberg. But wait, you have to peep something. Look at this right here. This means everything, y'all. Everybody says, yo, what the hell is going on, man? It's been damn near a year now. It's been damn near a year with this damn investigation. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, as you guys can see, Steve Ballmer, this entire time, remember, this investigation had been going on during this situation right here, all these months. This lawsuit had been going on in the background. Now, you're going to ask, Ticket, why is this lawsuit very important? What's up with this lawsuit? I'm finna tell you what's up with this lawsuit. And I'm going to tell you the stakes of this lawsuit and why this lawsuit has extremely, extremely high stakes. Extremely high stakes for Steve Ballmer. Extremely high stakes. And I'm talking about stakes that could shut everything down. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this lawsuit and I'm going to tell you guys this, and I want to say it the best way possible to everybody listening to this video. Calls Steve Ballmer to do this. Steve Ballmer. Now remember, all that time the lawsuit had been going on. That whole time. And we all wondered, why is the Aspiration case? What's going on with this? Steve Ballmer was trying to file motions to dismiss that lawsuit. Let's read this article real quick. Attorneys for Los Angeles Clippers owner Steve Ballmer had filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit brought against him by former Aspiration investors, right? ESPN reported on Friday. The network acquired the court documents which contend that the allegation of fraud pertaining to funneling money to star player Kawhi Leonard through the named company are sensational and patently false. Ballmer had been added to the lawsuit in November. So the lawsuit happened in July, but remember, he got added in November, right? Think about this now. The lawsuit was first filed in July, but Steve Ballmer's name got added in November. Think about this now. So following reports of wrongdoing produced by journalist Pablo Torre in his podcast, we already know about that information I told y'all, right? Aspiration rebranded as Katona Climate Solutions following a bankruptcy. And company co-owner or co-founder Joe Samberg has also been named in that lawsuit. Plaintiffs would not have invested, they said, if Steve Ballmer and Joe Samberg had disclosed the true nature of Ballmer's investment, per the revised lawsuit. Absent of Ballmer's support, they would not have sustained the frauds set forth herein, right? The initial suit was filed in July, per reporting from Front Office Sports. Steve Ballmer got added in November. So everybody was wondering, why is this investigation taking so damn long? Well, let me tell you why it was taking so long. This entire time, as you guys can see, the date is January the 16th, 2026. Steve Ballmer was fighting to get the lawsuit dismissed. Why? 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 That's the $1 million question, right? Why? I'm going to tell you why right now. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why right now, man. Steve Ballmer fought to get the lawsuit against him dismissed, right? Well, because it alleged that he was a part of this scheme. And not only that, let me tell you another secret. Steve Ballmer would have to release, if he couldn't get this lawsuit dismissed, oh my God, bro. Oh my Jesus, man. Oh my God, man. Oh my God, man. Oh my God, bro. Steve Ballmer would have had to release his financial and fund transfer records. All of them. Steve Ballmer would have to release all personal and organizational transfers of funds from him, his charitable foundations, or the Clippers organization to Aspiration. The lawsuit explicitly outlined that his discovery of evidence will look for undocumented secondary transfers used to keep the company afloat, or allegedly, quote unquote, buy Joe Samberg's silence regarding the star player's deal. Also, the receipts and the account ledgers for the $32 million account that the Clippers used to purchase environmental offsets for the Intuit Dome and the Kia Forum, as the plaintiffs allege that this account was a front to inject cash into the firm. Also, if Steve Ballmer could not get this lawsuit dismissed, he would have to be forced legally to release private communications. All of his communications with Joe Samberg and Steve Ballmer would have to be released. His representatives and convicted Aspiration co-founder Joe Samberg, they would have to release it. All the communications. Now, he currently claims, Steve Ballmer, that he only met Joseph Samberg once, which the text logs would either verify or disprove. Also, he would have to release internal Clippers executive communications, emails, Slack logs, and memos between Ballmer, Clippers co-owner Dennis Wong, and the team's executives regarding Aspiration. He would also have to release any negotiation notes for Kawhi Leonard, any internal documents discussing the timeline, strategy, and terms used to induce Kawhi Leonard to re-sign with the team. Also, he would have to release propriety internal investigations, meaning the Clippers' internal audit records. His legal team admitted that following the initial whistleblower SEC complaints, that Ballmer commissioned an internal review of the Clippers organization. Now, if that case moved forward, the plaintiffs can subpoena all of the unredacted findings and interviews from that self-directed probe. Also, Steve Ballmer will be forced to testify under oath of deposition, meaning Steve Ballmer will be forced to sit on the record for an hours-long deposition, and he'll have to answer precise questions under the penalty of perjury regarding what he knew about Kawhi Leonard's $28 million endorsement contract and exactly when he knew it. Now, you're probably asking me, what ticket? What are you talking about, man? Like, what does this have to do with anything? Well, the NBA can only get a certain amount of information to their investigation. They don't have a right to get all of his personal information. But if that lawsuit went through, he has no choice. And that opens him up potentially even more if the feds is watching, which they are, because his name was in that original complaint. But wait, there's more. A Delaware judge on July the 7th, 2026, cleared the way for the investors' lawsuit against y'all boy, Mr. Ballmer, Baker, Samberg. The ruling allows the Carr versus Samberg lawsuit, the investors' lawsuit, to move forward after several months of litigation over who had the right to pursue the claims. And so now we wonder why. Because it seems to me that the whole reason why this whole thing was delayed, or could have been potentially delayed, or dragged along, is because they had to see Steve Ballmer, who wanted to get that lawsuit dismissed, so none of this information would ever have to come public, would be able to get it dismissed or not. But now, baby, and now it all makes sense. Why there's a sudden pause now, in my opinion, with this news. that the Delaware judge has cleared the way, I bring to you an updated information. Now, in this updated information that I'm going to give to you guys right now, how should I say it? How should I say it? Today is a beautiful day. Today is a beautiful day. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. And Pablo Torre went live. He went on a video and he said, I wonder why. And Pablo Torre, Pablo, you a boy. You was a Pablo. Boy, you something special, boy. Pablo went on trolling him and said, I wonder what changed between Pablo. See, nobody was talking about this, Pablo, because it was hard to find this article. But Pablo, your boy Ticket, I found it. I found it, Pablo. I found it. Nobody in the media is talking about it because it stayed buried under the news. Now, Pablo. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, Pablo. Because we definitely got to talk about this. And I'm going to tell you why Adam Silver is going to be forced. Before I go forward with this situation and lawsuit, I have to tell y'all this. Pablo Torre is not going to make claims against one of the richest men in the world unless he got a smoking gun. Pablo Torre, I believe, is sitting on the final piece of unquestionable evidence that I believe the NBA knows and they all know that Pablo can drop at any time and bust their chops, which has forced the NBA into a corner, in my opinion, and forced them to punish the Clippers. Because if the NBA does not drop the full hammer on the Clippers and they come out and say, oh, he's clear of an investigation, and Pablo Torre comes out the very same day and drops undisputable evidence, it would destroy the entire fabric of the National Basketball Association, and the fallout would be unrecoverable. Pablo Torre is not going to war with one of the richest men in the world unless he got receipts. Pablo Torre was a Harvard graduate. He didn't come to this to play stupid. He won a Pulitzer Prize for this. And Pablo Torre had been slow walking their ass the whole time. And I believe Pablo has the last missing piece. I'm talking about the irrefutable evidence that would 1,000% prove this. And this is the reason why I believe the NBA has been trying the whole time to figure a way to wiggle out, but they can't. Because Pablo got him by the you-know-whats. And at any time they drop that, oh, well, he's cleared, we didn't find it, and Pablo comes out, that triggers all kind of stuff. Federal investigation in the league immediately. And all types of issues for the National Basketball Association. And Pablo, as good as they come, I bet my bottom dollar. Because Pablo has everything riding on this. His career, his reputation, and he would be in complete ruin because if the NBA were to come out and say that the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard were innocent, it would completely destroy Pablo Torre as a journalist and everything Pablo Torre has represented his entire career. Pablo Torre is not no damn fool. Pablo Torre, he have the smoking gun and they know it. This is the reason why he did every episode the way he did. This is the reason why that owner, former owner from the Dallas Mavericks, never went back on his show after 2 episodes. Pablo has the blicky. And I'm going to show y'all something. What happened today with this lawsuit? Not today, but the other day. With this lawsuit. Now, the timing. Because now, and I want to say this to you guys. According to the reports, the Delaware judge overseeing that case just cleared the way for that lawsuit to move forward, effectively denying the core effort to kill this case early. Booyah! Following months of intense litigation and the initial dismissal hearings originally slated in Los Angeles, a pivotal ruling was just issued in Delaware. The judge officially cleared the path for the investors' fraud lawsuit, Carr versus Samberg, which includes your boy, to proceed. The court rejected the arguments trying to completely shut down the litigation, allowing the investor group to pursue their claims that Steve Ballmer participated in a fraudulent scheme and used Aspiration to secretly finance Kawhi Leonard's contract. Because the lawsuit has survived these early dismissal hurdles, it is moving directly into the formal discovery phase now. There is no longer a wait for a generalized dismissal ruling. Instead, the clock is now ticking for Steve Ballmer's legal team to respond to impending subpoenas. Depositions and internal document requests are being mapped out over the next few months. As the civil suit accelerates, it perfectly overlaps with the NBA's internal investigation. The league's independent law firm, Watchtail Lipton, announced that it expects to finalize its concrete probe findings in the coming weeks. Makes sense now, don't it? Makes sense now, don't it? Now listen up very closely. Steve Ballmer is now facing the most critical double front threat of his professional career. To the person who says, I highly doubt anything's going to happen, sir, are you not listening? This is not in the NBA's hands no more. This is legal, buster. This is legal. You can't get around this. This is law. This is legal. Like, it's legal now. It's in the books. It's not, oh, well, no. This thing you got to understand. This lawsuit, being at the same time, see, if he would have got this dismissed, man, bro. But the fact that this seems like it's going to move towards the discovery, or he got to show they got to open up everything now. Right? See, you could deny shit if you're the NBA, but now you wonder why. All of a sudden, everything stopped. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Somebody said you'll believe you see it. Sucker, you're seeing it on the screen right now. What the hell is wrong with you, boy? Son, is something wrong with your brains, boy? Is something wrong with your brains, boy? But let me keep going. So now that the Delaware judge has cleared the way, Ballmer's attempt to quickly dismiss this lawsuit has reportedly failed. Right? And what happens now is reportedly formal legal discovery, which means subpoena handover. Steve Ballmer's attorneys reportedly will be legally forced to hand over his private emails, text messages, and financial communications regarding his $60 million investment in Aspiration. Steve Ballmer will likely be forced to sit down for a deposition under oath under the penalty of perjury. Steve Ballmer's current legal strategy to paint himself as an innocent victim who was scammed out of $60 million by convicted quote-unquote con man Joe Samberg, right? That's his strategy, right? However, the 11 plaintiffs who are against him are using his own internal documents to prove that Steve Ballmer knew exactly what the money was being used for, keeping Samberg quiet about the off-the-books Kawhi Leonard deals, what they're alleging. Right? Now, with that that being said, with these two things, and it's not even about him lying no more. He has to give up all the records. Listen, it doesn't even matter what he says at this point. He has to give up all those records. Everything. This was the biggest thing that was going on that y'all didn't see. And all this time, when you're fighting to get this thing dismissed, and it don't get dismissed, y'all wonder why the investigation took so long. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, pause the Kawhi Leonard trade. Well, if you look at the date, July the 7th, 2026. If you look at the date, you will know. Ask yourself, what day did they pause the Kawhi Leonard trade? What day did they pause the Kawhi Leonard trade? What day? What day? Well, The Rock is going to show you what day. July the 9th, 2026. It's right here on your screen. So it shall be written. So it shall be done. Now, why was it announced on July the 9th and not June the 30th, whenever they did a trade? They first said he was going to do the trade. Well, could it have been because they were waiting on this decision right here? Because now this changes everything. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And now, with this going down, the NBA knows, shit, it's pretty much a wrap for the kids. Because now, it ain't even about testimony. It's about paperwork. And what's in all of those files. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I love being great. Stepping on my haters. Punish all these niggas. You understand what I love it. You feel what I'm saying? Something in loving you like they want you to. Now, when ESPN and them come report this later on, remember who told you first. And Pablo, my bad, man. I ain't mean that. If you was, because you probably was going to say this later on, Pablo. My bad, dog. You know what I'm saying? The real note, he owed me 100 favors. Hey, man. Bro, listen, man. I'm just going to tell y'all, man. The dates looking real slick right here, man. Them dates looking real. Woof. Woof. Boy, them dates looking crazy. On July the 7th, this comes out. And then, on July the 9th, the Clippers trade on hold. Pause. Uh-oh. 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 Now, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that's watching this, that's watching your boy be great, because I am that. They're going to keep doubting. And they're going to keep seeing greatness put right in front of their face. They're going to keep doubting. And they're going to keep seeing greatness put right in front of their face. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the repercussions of this is wild, because now you go into a situation where you have to release all of the paperwork. Now, this opens everything up to the FEDSs, to the feds. Oh, that's right. And out of the blue, you notice something, you guys? I'm going to tell you I noticed something. And this is when I knew it was getting serious. When I saw this picture right here. And I'm fitting to show y'all something. When I saw this picture I'm about to show y'all, I said, oh, it's getting serious. It's getting serious. It's getting real serious. When I saw this picture right here, I said, man, kept it 100 on paper like Wilt. When I saw this picture right here of Adam Silver, all of a sudden buttering up to Donald Trump, kept it 100 on paper like Wilt. Do you know how I pop it for real? Ladies and gentlemen, remember, the statesmen of the league despise Donald Trump. LeBron James, Steph Curry, all these people. And now, all of a sudden, Adam Silver is rolling out the red carpet in the NBA Finals along with your other mans. They roll out the red carpet for Donald Trump. After all the NBA players voiced displeasure and hate Donald Trump, even refused to want to go to the White House. Well, why would that be? Well, let me say this to everybody listening to this video. Donald Trump has enough power to help, make things like Department of Justice investigations go away. But he can't, because remember, you have to make nice to Trump because there's so many current NBA players and coach under current indictment. So you got current NBA players, former NBA players, and I also have some more bad news for y'all today. Man. And the news get worse. Because you know why, y'all? In that situation with the boy who thought he was gonna get a beefcake to Scottie Pippen's baby mama. Yeah. Right? Now, right? Check it out, y'all. Let me show it, right? I want to show it to y'all. And I want to do it like it's never been done before. Right? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show y'all something. I actually want to show you two things. Maybe three. But I definitely want to show you something. I want to show you this right here. Let's put this on the screen. And you're going to ask me on ticket, who the hell is that? Well, I'm going to tell you who this is. It gets even worse and even more disgusting. Now, let's put this on the screen for everybody. Because we're going to get it popping. Now, you may ask me, hold on, y'all. Hold on. You may ask me, hey, Ticket, well, who is this? I'm going to show you who it is. Kept it 100 on paper like Wilt. These hoes know how I pop it for real. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you know what paperwork this is? This is a man by the name of Amar Awawad. Right? Now, right? The man I'm showing you name on this paperwork, and y'all smash the like button. Yo, smash the like button as y'all come on in here, man. Appreciate everybody that's in the building, man. Y'all know what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? They ain't know I was just great. They thought I was just a nigga who just, you know what I'm saying, just come around here and just saying whatever. Smash the like button. Just give me 1 second. Smash the like button. I want to show y'all something, right? he was involved in a co-defendant, right? A co-conspirator alleged, but no longer alleged for him, right? To Malik Beasley, Jonte Porter, and Terry Rozier, the NBA basketball players. Now, for you guys to know who this Awawade is, Mr. Awawade, United States versus Mr. Awawade, right? I'm going to tell you. Mr. Awawade reportedly originally gained notoriety for his direct role in the betting scandal that led to a lifetime ban of NBA Toronto Raptors forward Jonte Porter. Porter accumulated massive gambling debts directly to this man, Mr. Awawade. Now, to clear these debts, Mr. Awawade pressured NBA player Jonte Porter into executing a scheme they referred to as the quote-unquote special. Now, Jonte Porter would exit specific games early on January 26th and March 20th of 2024 under the guise of having fake injuries. Now, Mr. Awawade and his co-conspirators utilized this insider information to place massive, lucrative underprop bets on Jonte Porter's statistics, generating well over $1 million in fraudulent winnings. In encrypted text, Mr. Awawade explicitly boasted that he was forcing the athlete to cooperate, right? Are y'all not listening to what I'm saying? Are y'all not listening to what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments. Are y'all not hearing this? Are you not listening to what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all this right now. He was also linked to NBA Miami Heat guard Terry Rozier. Right? Now, he was indicted. Terry Rozier was indicted alongside this guy in the multi-million-dollar insider sports betting ring. Now, Terry Rozier was accused by the FBI of leaking non-public team and physical information to this man, group of co-conspirators to manipulate betting lines. Also, he's linked to Malik Beasley, like I told y'all. Malik Beasley's named alongside this guy too in the federal gambling sweep that expanded that Malik Beasley just got arrested in. Malik Beasley and his agent were pulled into the same proxy wagering and illicit sports betting network managed by Mr. Awawade and his criminal associates, according to the allegations from the feds. And I'm going to show y'all something. Also, he was linked to Chauncey Billups, right? And the high-stakes mafia-backed poker indictment. Now, Chauncey Billups was not accused of fixing NBA basketball games, but he was named as a high-profile figure used by this man on your screen's group to front and popularize exclusive underground poker games. Now, the games themselves were secretly rigged with cheating tech to defraud participants. And last but not least, LeBron James' boy, former NBA player and unofficial coach with the Los Angeles Lakers, Damon Jones, who was training LeBron James. Yeah. He was indicted alongside him too on charges connected with both sports betting and rigged poker facets of the operation, right? Where federal prosecutors basically identified Damon Jones, who's already pled guilty and took a plea deal himself, as a member of the cheating teams who helped attract high-state players to Mr. Awawade's rigged townhouse games while also cashing in on illicit insider NBA data. Now, why am I showing you this paperwork? Because today, or yesterday, as y'all see right here on y'all screen, July the 9th, 2026, guess what this man did? United States versus Awawade. Guess what he did, y'all? Now remember, Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, Malik Beasley have all pled innocent. Guess what Mr. Awawade did yesterday? he took a plea deal. Dear Judge D'Arcy Hall, as discussed at June 9, 2026 status conference, the parties submit this joint status update. Since the June 9, 2026 status conference, the parties have been in continued negotiations regarding a resolution, of this matter, short of trial, and have reached a plea agreement. The parties are in process of scheduling the defendant's change of plea hearing. Respectfully submitted, Joseph Nocella Jr., United States Attorney. He took a plea deal. Woo! Woo! Adam Silver, in my opinion, after all of this shit, he should step down as a commissioner of the National Basketball Association. It is disgusting. With David Stern, this would have never happened. David Stern would have shut this down as quick as he could. This would have never happened. He'd have shut, as soon as he seen it, he'd have shut that shit down. No question about it. None whatsoever. He'd have shut it down. And then the icing on the cake, y'all. What's the icing on the cake ticket? The icing on the cake, you guys. Y'all know we got to get to the icing on the cake. Right? Now, what's the icing on the cake ticket? Let's show y'all the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake, ladies and gentlemen, is y'all boy. Who's sitting over here standing on all kind of business right now. And Pablo is showing his ass. Pablo's showing his ass online. Now, let's get to Pablo. Because Pablo showing his ass. Now, y'all see little Pablo right there? Now, listen to Pablo. Walk it like he talk it.
I just think I need to spell this out. The reason the Toronto Raptors are not finalizing this trade with the Los Angeles Clippers for Kawhi Leonard is because they are concerned that Kawhi Leonard did something that is worthy of punishment by the NBA. The NBA, by the way, which has told the Toronto Raptors, buyer beware, apparently. It is now official, buyer beware. Any penalties that Kawhi Leonard incurs as a part of this investigation, that is a risk that the Raptors and the Raptors alone assume. The Clippers don't assume that penalty for Kawhi Leonard. The buyer does. The Raptors do. And the Raptors...
Now, what is he saying? He's not saying that the Clippers won't be punished. He's saying that the punishment that Kawhi would get if the Raptors trade for Kawhi, well, they would deal with it. So what does that mean? The Clippers would get all the punishment they're going to get anyway, Steve Ballhead, right? But if part of the punishment is to void Kawhi's contract, which is probably going to happen, they're probably going to end up having to void the last year of his contract, like I said. And I hope Mr. Assman got my $500, right? Void the last year of his contract, right? Then that means that the Toronto Raptors, if they traded for Kawhi, they would have given up assets for no reason. And here's the thing. The Toronto Raptors do not have cap space if they keep their players to sign Kawhi Leonard. Because if they don't do the deal and Kawhi still gets punished, well, no team in the NBA really has cap space to outright sign Kawhi Leonard. He would have to take his career would be screwed because he'd have to take a low deal. He'd have to take a minimum deal. That's if the NBA don't suspend that ass too. Meaning, they would suspend Kawhi. And see, here's the problem. With the Raptors, if the Raptors were to take Kawhi, the salary hit would go on their books. Meaning, Kawhi's contract would be voided. And then the salary hit would go on their books because they traded for Kawhi. And he got punished. Meaning that the Clippers would probably get all the picks, all the fines, all the other shit. But the Raptors, since they had Kawhi, they would have to deal with Kawhi's contract being voided and that $50 million he got left on his deal against their cap. Oh, yeah. It's true. Like Kurt Angle say, you know it's true. You know it's true. Now listen to Pablo talk his shit.
Raptors are saying, well, then we cannot do it, which says so much about the credibility of the alleged cap circumvention scheme involving Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers in Aspiration.
And let me say this. When you did this, Pablo, you a slick, you know what? Look what Pablo wrote up here, y'all. I got to show y'all what Pablo wrote. Look what this slick guy wrote. Pablo wrote, buyer beware. Pablo Torre on why the Kawhi Leonard trade to the Raptors is now on hold. How to read between the lines of the Clippers' sudden statement. And listen to the last thing. Pablo is a devious mofo. Pablo said, and what the hell changed over the last 10 days? Meaning, from the 30th when they said that they was going to do the deal until now. Now, the only thing I could find that changed is that the judge cleared the way, which means everything comes out now, which means busted. Pablo talking his shit. Let's go.
We've been reporting on for 11 months. The same allegations, by the way, that the Raptors have been circling since 2019 when they became the most aggrieved party in this whole story. And now they are saying we can't trade for this guy under these conditions because we think it is quite possible that there is actually something that he did worth punishing. That's what the meaning of this frozen trade really is. And then there's the second part, which is that the Los Angeles Clippers have leaked to Shams Charania a 5-paragraph statement. The Raptors had 3 sentences. Clippers had 5 paragraphs, and this is one of them. At the heart of this investigation are Joe Samberg and Aspiration. We did not funnel money to Kawhi Leonard through Aspiration. Like many sophisticated investors, financial institutions, and business partners, we were victims of a fraud initiated by Samberg, who has been convicted and sentenced to 14 years in prison. And correct, he has been. But the entire thing we've been saying over 11 months almost is that you can be scammed by Joe Samberg and also have worked with him to try to deceive the NBA. You can be deceived by the guy you trusted to help you deceive the NBA's salary cap circumvention system. In fact, it's what the federal whistleblower complaint that we obtained that was filed under penalty of perjury in 2023, filed by 2 Aspiration whistleblowers who provided the whole roadmap for the prosecution of Joe Samberg to the federal government, has indicated. And so did the DOJ prosecutor who launched that federal investigation. 2 things can be true. You got scammed by Joe, and you tried to use him to get one over on the NBA. So the question now, given all these things I've said, is what changed after June 30th when this trade was publicly announced? What changed between June 30th and July 9th?
Pablo, you very smart. But when you dealing with Ticket, boy, when you said what changed, boy, you lit a fire under me, boy. I had to find out what changed, Pablo. I had to find out, Pablo. Pablo, boy. They hate you, boy. They hate me too, but they hate you, boy. They hate you, dog. Pablo rubbing that shit in their face too, and they know it. Boy, he got them boys in a... Let me tell y'all something. Pablo got these dudes in the Cobra clutch. I'm telling y'all this. Pablo has these dudes in the Cobra clutch, y'all. This is a whole situation right here, y'all. I don't think you guys understand this, right? Adam Silver is 1,000% cornered, right? Straight up. In the traditional NBA playbook, useless. He's cornered, right? Right? Think about this. And I'm telling y'all the honest to God truth, right? Because usually a sports commissioner like Adam Silver, he can escape a scandal by relying on 3 different things, y'all. controlling the narrative, stalling until the public interest fades out, or settling the matter quietly behind closed doors. But Pablo Torre and the federal government have permanently blocked all three of those exits for him. And those walls have trapped Adam Silver in the NBA with zero escape routes. So basically, the NBA, they tried to aggressively deny the scandal or attack Pablo Torre's reporting to save Steve Ballmer. They'll trigger an immediate legal backfire. Meaning defamation lawsuits or formal corporate denials would force a legal discovery process. And under that discovery, the NBA, Adam Silver, and the Clippers would be legally forced to turn over emails, private text logs, and sub-level financial ledgers to Pablo Torre's legal team, if it got there. And Adam Silver can't risk the public seeing what else may be buried in them files. Oh, man, bro. And he can't pull the strings to make it go away either. Because the primary evidence doesn't belong to the NBA. It belongs to the United States government, y'all. Meaning it's an overlap. The Department of Justice and the SEC already seized Aspiration's corporate servers to secure Joe Samberg's 14-year prison sentence. So if the group that they hired, Watchtail Lipton, issues a soft and corporate report that clears Steve Ballmer, right? It could instantly collide with the federal government's raw data. And Adam Silver cannot cover this up when federal prosecutors potentially already hold the same master receipts that Pablo Torre may hold. Right? Or if Adam Silver were to try to protect Steve Ballmer because he's the league's wealthiest owner, well, the other 29 ownership groups would revolt. And by doing that, I mean, bro, by letting him do that, you're literally taking millions of dollars out of the pockets of the other owners, which they'll never allow, right? And, you know, bro, shit's crazy, bro. It's a lot of things that can go on, man, right? He's facing a checkmate. Adam Silver, that's why I keep trying to tell y'all, they cannot dismiss this shit like that. He gonna have to lay the hammer. I'm telling y'all, listen, if you don't know law, this is why you go to school and you study. When you go to class, you study this stuff. Straight up, bro. Because if you don't study, you ain't going to learn nothing in life. And I'm just being honest with everybody listening to this video, man. Right? I'm telling y'all, if Adam Silver, if they found Steve Ballmer and them guilty, and he was and he didn't punish Steve Ballmer, bro, he basically legalized salary cap circumvention for every team owner in the NBA. And that will basically destroy the small market teams. Right? It would destroy, because any of these multi-billionaire owners would simply buy a large stake in a tech startup or a real estate venue or some type of entertainment company or some shit like that. And they'll have that company sign a star player to a massive no-show marketing contract and steal other teams' players whenever they want. Right? And then the smaller market teams will be destroyed. Right? Because they won't have those hyper-wealthy tech barons as owners. Will have zero chance of competing with their asses. The salary cap will be entirely optional, rendering the league's collective bargaining agreement completely meaningless, and that shit will kill the players too, and I'm going to tell y'all why. Because the players will look at that shit as a farce, and they'll say, hold on, man, why the hell do we got a salary cap? The players will look at it like, y'all robbing us. Because y'all using the salary cap not to pay us the money that we really worth. I'm trying to tell y'all this. See, you gotta think deeper when you think about this shit. You gotta think deep. When you think about this, it's all on the line. This is why they doing like this. I'm telling y'all, bro, Pablo Torre is not no idiot. That boy ain't going up against no billionaire unless he got the receipts. That's why y'all have not seen Steve Ballmer sue Pablo Torre. Think about that. Steve Ballmer would have instantly sued him for defamation of character. But why didn't he do that? Because when Steve Ballmer sues him, Pablo Torre lawyers have the right to subpoena all his paperwork. That's why these dudes don't be understanding nothing. They be coming in the room just talking and don't know what the hell they talking about. Ask yourself this question. Pablo Torre don't talk all this shit, and you got a billionaire that ain't did nothing to him. Steve Ballmer could crush Pablo Torre with lawsuits. He could destroy Pablo Torre's whole empire. Everything Pablo Torre got, he could take it from him. But in order to do that, boy, because Pablo, as soon as he would do that, Pablo Torre's lawyers would have all his information subpoenaed. Straight up. I'm telling y'all this. This is why people don't understand what's going on. Right? I'm telling y'all. So it doesn't matter if they can say, oh, well, Joe Samberg, man, he's a criminal. It don't matter. The receipts are what matters. This is what y'all got to understand. The receipts are what matters. Right? Because when the FBI and the SEC, when they went and they seized Aspiration servers during that investigation into Joe Samberg, they didn't just take his word for shit. They took hard drives, cloud backups, and metadata logs, y'all. So all these people saying shit, because, for example, like if a text message or a wire transfer shows a direct coordinated financial pipeline between a Clippers shell company and Aspiration account specifically timed to Kawhi Leonard signing, it don't matter if Joe Samberg is a convicted felon. The data itself is objective, unchangeable, and it will be legally binding in a court of law. Think about what I'm saying to y'all. Right? Straight up. If they subpoena and got the bank records and wire routing numbers showing that Steve Ballmer's personal capital or team adjacent funds directly injected the cash that helped Aspiration stay afloat that whole time, like all them people was alleging to Pablo Torre that happened? Listen to what I'm saying to y'all now. Right? Just so they could pay Kawhi? Man, all this, oh, we was victims, that shit out the window, my nigga. And not only that, let me say this. That defense completely gets shut down. And it transforms the Clippers from defrauded investors into active, alleged co-conspirators in a salary cap evasion scheme. Right? And Trump couldn't even really do nothing about that now. Right? Now, it could help us slow it down. But once you got paperwork, you can't really, like, once you got, like, physical receipts of alleged financial fraud and things like that, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, bro. I mean, this shit gonna be hard, especially because Pablo making this shit public. So it's hard to get around that. And I want to say something else while I'm talking about this shit too, because I think that this is very, very important. Because everybody, this is why you need to study, man. And I push people to do that who listen to me, man. Why y'all think they've been running around here cozying up to Donald Trump? They hated Donald Trump. Now all of a sudden they cozying up to him. Make it make sense. Right? So why y'all think the NBA investigation been taking this damn long? You know why. You know why it's been taking this long. Right? They have to. Simple as that. If the NBA, and this is why people don't understand something simple mathematics. If the NBA does not punish the Clippers, let's say the NBA had proof that the Clippers had cheated, right? And they don't punish Steve Ballmer, bro, it's over with, bro. That means that you would destroy all the small market teams, and the NBA wouldn't be the NBA anymore. And then you'll have to get rid of the cap, and that would basically destroy the league. You'll lose all those small market teams because the big market teams just go get all the big players and pay them whatever the hell they want to pay them. They just do dirty deals and pay them, and then the NBA couldn't do nothing. This is the thing people don't understand. You got to use simple mathematics, man. When you think, you got to think on a whole different level, man. Straight up, man. Right? And that law firm, once Pablo Torre came out and called their ass out, watch tail lifting, Pablo let them niggas know publicly, you better stay on point playing with me. Because Pablo had Aspiration employees that came and reported right back to him. So as soon as they met with the NBA's legal investigators, those employees at Aspiration came back to Pablo and was like, man, they only asked us about Kawhi. They ain't ask us shit about Steve Ballmer. He was like, what? Pablo went and immediately did a public podcast and called that shit out. That put Watchtail Lipton on blast. Right? That was wild. You gonna ask them about Kawhi, allegedly, but not ask them about Steve Ballmer? Mm-mm. 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 So he's boxed in, right? He's boxed in. And you better believe Pablo Torre got people watching him like a hawk. He got people watching him like a hawk. And they know it. Right? And because Pablo has such deep sources. See, this is the thing. Pablo's not going off of hearsay. Pablo's showing receipts. That's the problem they got. They know if they come with any bullshit, all Pablo got to do is press live and go live. And once he show an undeniable receipt, because trust me, Pablo got one more episode. He just waiting on the NBA to come out and try to say, oh, we didn't find anything. And then the whole question will be, how the hell did Pablo get this and y'all couldn't? Right? And you guys were interviewing those Aspiration employees. That would destroy the whole credibility of a law firm. Then you're talking about all different types of problems, man. Legal problems. Yeah, man. Like I told y'all, bro. I don't think people really understand the law. You know what I mean? That's why Pablo did it the way he did it. Pablo was smart. Pablo saved his ass and he did it publicly. Right? To make sure it was transparent with the public. Why you think all of the regular news stations, they all afraid to touch that shit for real, for real. They don't even want to give Pablo his props. ESPN, Fox, they all scared. They some scary ass people. They gonna, after this whole situation is over, watch how they try and jump out then. Because now they're gonna feel safe to report it. They ain't want to report on shit the whole time. Why? Because it's a system. This is what I try and tell y'all. I don't respect Adam Silver. I think Adam Silver should be gone from the NBA. Right? I be trying to tell y'all this. I don't know why y'all don't want to listen to your boy. Then, not only that, right? I'm just saying, bro. It's a bad situation, man, through and through, bro. I don't know why people don't understand this. Adam Silver is facing the most criticism, right? Right now than his entire tenure. Over that gambling scandal and this, he's facing the most criticism ever. Peachy, what up, baby? Salute. He's facing the most criticism ever. Ever. Now, y'all look at this right here, right? And I want to tell y'all something. Because as I said, pay attention to all the moves. Pablo is emceeing this whole thing. And Pablo already revealed he got NBA owners that's talking to him. So the fact that Pablo got some NBA owners that's riding with him, boy, that's a big problem right there, boy. That's a big problem right there. Big problem. No doubt about it. Right? Right? Pablo got legal counsel over there too. That nigga smart as hell. Pablo's smart as a mofo, bro. Pablo got legal counsel and everything. Trust me when I try and tell y'all this. Right? Trust me when I try and tell y'all this. Right? Pablo Torre got them lawyers that keep new people off their ass. And he got lawyers. What Pablo lawyers gonna do is protect his lawyers are gonna protect his sources. Right? So if they were to go try to find out his sources and shit like that, his lawyers can help protect all of his sources, the people that's feeding him information. Pablo's smart as hell. That boy's smart as hell. You talking about a guy who he went to every, I can tell he went to every class. right? I can tell Pablo went to every class. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Right? And so when you think about it, man, I mean, he has really, you know, he caused him a lot of problems, man. He's caused them a lot of problems. I'm just telling you guys this. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. But I expect in the next couple, probably a week or two, you know what I mean? Yeah, you guys. Yeah, man, it's wild out here, y'all. So we will see. We will see, man. But it's not a coincidence that this whole thing got paused. Listen again.
I just think I need to spell this out. The reason the Toronto Raptors are not finalizing this trade with the Los Angeles Clippers for Kawhi Leonard is because they are concerned that Kawhi Leonard did something that is worthy of punishment by the NBA. The NBA, by the way, which has told the Toronto Raptors, buyer beware, apparently. It is now official, buyer beware. Any penalties that Kawhi Leonard incurs as a part of this investigation, that is a risk that the Raptors and the Raptors alone assume. The Clippers don't assume that penalty for Kawhi Leonard. The buyer does. The Raptors do. And the Raptors are saying, well, then we cannot do it. Which says so much about the credibility of the alleged cap circumvention scheme involving Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers in Aspiration that we've been reporting on for 11 months. The same allegations, by the way, that the Raptors have been circling since 2019 when they became the most aggrieved party in this whole story. And now they are saying we can't trade for this guy under these conditions because we think it is quite possible that there is actually something that he did worth punishing. That's what the meaning of this frozen trade really is. And then there's the second part, which is that the Los Angeles Clippers have leaked to Shams Charania a 5-paragraph statement. The Raptors had 3 sentences. Clippers had 5 paragraphs, and this is one of them. At the heart of this investigation are Joe Samberg and Aspiration. We did not funnel money to Kawhi Leonard through Aspiration. Like many sophisticated investors, financial institutions, and business partners, we were victims of a fraud initiated by Samberg, who has been convicted and sentenced to 14 years in prison. And correct, he has been. But the entire thing we've been saying over 11 months almost is that you can be scammed by Joe Samberg and also have worked with him to try to deceive the NBA. You can be deceived by the guy you trusted to help you deceive the NBA's salary cap circumvention system. In fact, it's what the federal whistleblower complaint that we obtained, that was filed under penalty of perjury in 2023, filed by 2 Aspiration whistleblowers who provided the whole roadmap for the prosecution of Joe Samberg to the federal government, has indicated. And so did the DOJ prosecutor who launched that federal investigation. 2 things can be true. You got scammed by Joe, and you tried to use him to get one over on the NBA. So the question now, given all these things I've said, is what changed after June 30th when this trade was publicly announced? What changed between June 30th and July 9th?
To the person in the comment section, I said I don't watch basketball anymore. This is an absolute news story right here, sir. And I want to see Adam Silver and the National Basketball Association leaders destroyed. I want to see Adam Silver leave the National Basketball Association. I want to see the people who are doing wrong punished. And I want to see integrity brought back to the NBA before I ever start watching the product again. And I will not watch the product again. And I will not help promote their product again until they get that boy his job back. You're going to take old boy's job. Y'all, they let everybody else do what the hell they want to do. They let Draymond Green right here kick people in the nuts, disrespect people, punch people, slap people around. They let all these dudes. You got all this stuff with this gambling scandal. They more focused on the wrong things, drafts and all that other stuff and tanking. But you got teams out here that's alleged that got daggone this type of cheating at the highest level, what they call the cardinal most devious sin, and they trying to drag this shit along with their feet. but you took that boy from the Bulls' job, but then you let the other boy, y'all, they swept that shit under the rug, that all them allegations against, what's that boy's name, y'all? The boy, the white boy that played for OKC that got traded to the Bulls. I can't remember his name. His name slipped off my tongue. I'm talking about him. Yeah, I'm talking about him. And to somebody who said they don't give him his job, that way I ain't watching basketball no more. Period. Either that or Adam Silver's gone. One or the other. I'm not watching basketball no more. I don't respect them. I'm telling you like this, bro. I'm not watching the NBA no more. I don't. Yeah, Josh Giddey. They swept Josh Giddey shit under the rug, my nigga. But you gonna kick this dude out the league because this man said that he praised God. And Josh Giddey didn't get $100 million contract? Man, come on, man. Stop this shit, man. I'm sorry, bro. I stand for something, bro. You stand for something or you don't stand for nothing. Which one is it? There ain't no in-betweens on that shit either. Ain't none. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the reason why we're here talking about this now. Right? Right now. Because the truth need to be put out here to everybody watching. Right? Telling y'all what it is. This dude have absolutely, I'm telling y'all this. And thank God for Pablo. Because if Pablo wasn't on their ass, man, listen, let me tell you something, man. Why y'all think this went this long? Because of Pablo. Pablo got deep connections, bro. I'm going to tell y'all something. He will, will never sue Pablo Torre. Steve Ballmer, he will never sue Pablo Torre. He will never, let me say this again. Pablo Torre don't say this man don't cheated. You know why he won't sue Pablo Torre? For two reasons. For one, Pablo Torre got hardcore receipts. See, the difference with Pablo, he got people on the inside. He got people that was working on the inside that can provide him with all the information he needs. And he's an independent journalist, so he can't be controlled. Also, he'll never come out to Pablo because the moment, and let me say this right now, the moment he were to sue Pablo for defamation or something like that, it would open him up to discovery. Which means that would force him to turn over all of his private financial and personal records that could further fuel all of this shit he got going on around him right now. Right? Think about this. Pablo, his attorney, that's why Pablo's so smart. You know what the hell he doing. Pablo's lawyers, they would gain the legal right, y'all, to subpoena Steve Ballmer internal emails, his personal texts, and Clippers organizational files. Right? So basically, Steve Ballmer being a public figure, guess what he would have to prove in the lawsuit of defamation? He would have to prove actual malice. Meaning, and what I'm saying is that Steve Ballmer would have to legally prove that the accusers knew that the salary cap circumvention claims were false but published them anyways. And that's a notoriously difficult standard to clear in court. Notoriously difficult. Anybody who follows these type of cases, you know. You know I ain't lying. Right? So I'm telling y'all what it is. Right? And I believe that the lawsuits could be a threat too, because it could open you to more federal, exposure if you have to open those files and they see that. Right? I'm telling you. Right? That's why they was fighting so hard to get them charges dismissed. Right? Because what that lawsuit did, and notice how they came in and added Steve Ballmer in November on that lawsuit. Ooh, that was surgical. Who you think was behind that? That was surgical. Because adding him to that lawsuit, now it really put him on the hook. That's why he fought to do this. Dismiss it. This is the part, when you talk to people who don't know what they're talking about, they don't know what they're talking about. That's why I laugh at that. You know what I'm saying? And they secretly whisper, and oh yeah, man, you know, this motherfucker crazy, man. You know, you talk, nah, nigga, I'm the one with goddamn common sense. Straight like that. And in the end, it's gonna prove it. The facts and the truth gonna prove it. It's always gonna reign supreme. You can't hate on God's word. Straight up. Right? So I'm telling y'all what it is. And this opens you up. Because think about this, y'all. In the United States, civil court discovery files easily can become a roadmap for the feds. Right? If you're forced to turn over private communication logs, bank transfers, internal memos, and things like that, you risk exposing yourself to the feds. And that's in a civil case. Right? So let me give y'all an example. Like, if there were any emails that were internal or text messages that was like showed like a coordinated effort to disguise, I want to say, basketball operations, money and things like that as a tech startup investment to mislead the NBA, man, that right there, the feds can come and see that and say, hey, hold on, this is wire fraud. These are the things that could happen, right? They could come try to get you on IRS and tax violations, and they could try and jam you up on SEC and investor deception. Pablo Torre, bro, is a beast. I'm telling y'all this shit. I'm telling this one little dude was so smart. He took on the whole system. Think about this. Pablo took on the whole system and gonna win. He gonna win. They were so ready to talk shit on Pablo when they thought that deal was going down with Kawhi. And then guess what else happened, y'all? I forgot to tell y'all this. If Kawhi's innocent, why he fire his uncle? If Kawhi's innocent, why he fire his uncle? Why he fire his uncle? Right? Why he fire his uncle? Answer that question. If Kawhi is so innocent, why did he fire Uncle Dennis? I'm waiting. Right? I'm waiting. If Kawhi is so innocent, why did he fire Uncle Dennis? I'll wait for it. I'll wait for it. They ain't gonna tell y'all that. They're not gonna tell y'all he fired Uncle Dennis, right? Right? They ain't gonna tell y'all that. Why they ain't gonna tell y'all that? Right? I don't have no reason to lie to you. See, when I come on here, what I say, I have receipts for. I tell you the truth. Go right to Yahoo Sports. It's right there. Right? Go right to Yahoo Sports. It's right there. That man fired Uncle Dennis. And he fired his agent. Now, why he do that? Peep game. Peep game. And is raising eyebrows to why he fired him. Right? Think about what I said. Right? Peep game now. Right? Think about what I said. Now I want to listen to a real one though. And that's official, my nigga. That's official. Why they ain't gonna tell y'all that? Ain't no to protect them. Why you need to protect them if you ain't do nothing wrong? Why you need to protect Uncle Dennis? Answer that question. If you ain't do shit wrong, why you need to protect Uncle Dennis? All right. Think about this. These people filed a lawsuit and alleged that Steve Ballmer did all of these things. Why ain't Steve Ballmer filed a countersuit for defamation? Why haven't Steve Ballmer filed a countersuit for defamation of character? Why haven't he? You know why? Like I told y'all why. The instance he does, he got to come up off all them files. He got to come up off all those files. Because their lawyers would instantly subpoena all those files. All right? I'm telling y'all this. Instantly. We not even having a different conversation about this. I'm telling you what it is. So this ain't even no ifs, ands, buts, I think. None of that shit. Right? I'm telling you right now. Right? That dude, Pablo Torre, took it to their ass, man. Think about this. Steve Ballmer's a billionaire, bro. If he knew they was lying, brother, he would sue all their asses. He would run these people bankrupt. And he got lawyers on retainer, so he would need to him to fight the laws to sue these people ain't shit. I mean, he could shut them all the way down. Right? It ain't like it's gonna hurt him. He one of the richest men in the world, bro. But when you do that, the first thing their lawyers gonna do is subpoena all your paper, everything. They gonna subpoena all your shit. So it's worthless. That's why when you understand and get into and study law and understand law, you think differently now. Why y'all think Adam Silver had to do this investigation? Cause he seen Pablo had receipts. Real receipts. He's seen that. And you better believe he's getting calls behind the scenes saying, bro, if you do this, trust me, small market owners are ticked. Because small market owners, they know. That's why Pablo said owners have been calling him. Let me tell y'all something. Small market owners know if he do this shit, it's over with for him. Like, if you would have let a team cheat like that, it's over with. Because everybody could do it. And now, because you didn't punish them, what you done is you open Pandora's box. Right? Straight up. To the person who tell me what I need to realize about professional sport. Bro, I played professional sports 16 years, bro. You can't tell me nothing, nigga. The hell wrong with you, boy? He keep trying to tell me in the comments, Ticky, what you need to understand is, nigga, I don't need to understand a damn thing from you, bro. I played pro basketball 16 years, fool. The hell wrong with you? I'm telling you what you need to know. You see this, right? Yeah. Yeah, shit real, man. Shit real, playboy. Tell me, cats, man. Cats don't want to listen, man. Cats don't want to listen, bro. You expose them. And it's like, they act like they don't see it. They gonna see it, though. They gonna see it, though. Right? I'm telling y'all this. All right. Hold on. I want to see something. I want to see something. Right? So I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Right? So when Pablo say those things, yeah, man. Yep. You said what? Try to tell y'all. So that's what changed. When Pablo said what he said, Pablo, I'm trying to tell you, I know what Pablo knows. That's why Pablo talking that shit. Pablo talking that shit because of this. That's why. Listen to what Pablo said. And didn't nobody in the media find out? You know why? Because they buried this in the news. This shit got buried. It got buried. That's why Pablo is saying this, y'all. What changed?
And also have worked with him to try to deceive the NBA. You can be deceived by the guy you trusted to help you deceive the NBA's salary cap circumvention system. In fact, it's what the federal whistleblower complaint that we obtained, that was filed under penalty of perjury in 2023, filed by 2 Aspiration whistleblowers who provided the whole roadmap for the prosecution of Joe Samberg to the federal government, has indicated. And so did the DOJ prosecutor who launched that federal investigation. 2 things can be true. You got scammed by Joe, and you tried to use him to get one over on the NBA. So the question now, given all these things I've said, is what changed after June 30th when this trade was publicly announced? What changed between June 30th and July 9th?
Told y'all. What changed between June 30th and July 9th? Well, July the 7th, the Delaware judge ruled. Didn't I tell y'all this? And didn't nobody know? ESPN ain't telling y'all this shit. Think about this. All the big networks not even telling y'all. They all not telling y'all this. Right? They all not telling y'all. Right? Peep game. It was a Delaware bankruptcy judge. He ruled that the specific fraud claims by the investors belong to them, not the estate. Right? And this clears the way for the California lawsuit to proceed against Joe Samberg, Steve Ballmer, and Baker Hostetler, right? Law firm, right? And others. I'm telling y'all this. Right? And this followed months. Y'all wonder why this dragged on, because now, bro, this gets nasty now. I'm telling y'all this. I'm telling y'all this. Right? Right? Y'all don't want to listen to your boy. Y'all don't want to listen to y'all boy. Right? Peep game. Peep game. So, yep. Just keep it real with y'all. You said what? Yeah, man. You know, tell the truth, man. Everybody got to understand this, man. The truth always gonna stand tall. Y'all need to do y'all own research. When Pablo said what changed, watch. He gonna come out. I might force him to put his episode out about this. When Pablo see this, because I'm the only one that's gonna tell y'all this. Like, even ESPN and them ain't talked about this shit. Because you know what? They don't have no real investigative journalists. They're not, like, and that's sad. Like, this lets you know what type of time it is with the media. They're not really trying to, like, get y'all real information, in my opinion. They're puppet. They're puppets, man. And that just is what it is. I know y'all don't like to hear that, but it's true. They're puppets. And they're controlled by Puppet Master. All right. So, yeah, y'all. If you want to know why, I believe this whole thing suddenly got jammed because now it got real. That lawsuit, and by the lawsuit going forward, Steve Ballmer got to give up all his files. Because now it gets funky. Now it gets real. You know what I'm saying? Now it gets real. So, y'all let me know what y'all think. You know, it's easy work to me, man. Greatness. James, what up, boy? Greatness at a whole different level, man. Greatness at a whole different level, baby. You understand? And you just see it, man. I be showing them, James. I be showing these dudes, James. They don't be want to listen to your boy, man. You know what I'm saying, James? Niggas be hating on your boy, man. But it is what it is, man. You know, God walking with me, man. So it's cool. You did? You know what I'm saying? You hate me, I still love you, nigga. Period. That's all there is to it. Never gonna talk down about you. So, but yeah, like I said to y'all, man, y'all see what it is, man. Oh yeah, but there ain't no refunds on this shit. At all. Ain't no motherfucking refunds, nigga. Ain't no, James, ain't no refunds on this shit, James. No. And nigga talk that cash shit to me, I'm gonna talk that shit right back. You know what I mean? Because them niggas try to make it seem like I ain't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Period. They try to make it seem like I ain't know what I'm talking about. Right? What are you talking about, what are you talking about, James? You talking about Shannon, triple bass mouth. What are you talking about? You talking about something right now? What are you talking about? Right? You said Shannon Sharp a hater, man. All he do is talk down on black fighters. Them niggas talking shit about Devin Haney style, talking shit about Shakur Stevenson style. How many black fighters? And then he praised Ryan Garcia. He deserved to get cooked. Let me see what he's talking about. Hold on, nightcap. He deserved to get cooked. That nigga deserved to get cooked. Nah, I don't see him on tonight. Hey, man. You know what's up, dog. Yeah. You already know, homie. We gonna link up and do some content, James. You dig? Man. And shout out to my girl Dominique, too. I don't know where she at. Hopefully she feel better. You know what I'm saying? Last time I talked to her, she was sick. Hopefully she doing great. Blessings to her. You know? I'm just trying to tell y'all this. So, when y'all figure this out, yeah, man, shit finna get real, man. Real. You think they paused that trade for no reason? I don't think so. Like, share, subscribe, man. Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.